Okay, let's jump right in. The billion-dollar penny. You've probably heard the story, right?
Oh yeah, that one floats around the internet all the time.
This idea that a single Lincoln Wheat penny could be worth, well, more than a small country. It's shocking.
It absolutely is. And completely untrue, unfortunately.
Right, but hold on, because while that specific figure is pure myth, we see crazy numbers like $54 million, even $301 million tossed around online.
Wild figures.
The real story is actually full of genuine shocks and, believe it or not, actual million-dollar pennies.
Exactly. The facts are almost as stunning as the fiction. The verified record for a Lincoln Wheat Penny is $1.7 million.
Still incredible for a penny.
Absolutely. That was for one of the ultra-rare 1943 copper ones.
Yeah.
But it shows the gap between rumor and reality.
So that's what this deep dive is all about. We're digging into the research, the articles you sent over to explore this fascinating, sometimes shocking world of Lincoln Wheat Pennies.
Our mission, if you will, is to uncover the real value, the unbelievable but true stories, and separate that internet hype from, the actual facts.
Think of it like an adventure, yeah, into the history hiding in like old coin jars.
It really is. And the journey starts back in 1909. That year was a big deal.
Why is that?
It was the first time a U.S. president, Abraham Lincoln, appeared on a circulating coin. Seems normal now, but back then.
It was a huge break from tradition, right? They usually had like liberty figures.
Precisely. Putting a real person, a specific historical figure, on money was quite significant. It showed Lincoln's massive importance.
But the design itself caused drama almost immediately.
Oh yeah, the designer, Victor David Brenner, he put his initials, VDB, pretty prominently on the reverse.
And people freaked out.
They did. It seems wild now, but there was a national outcry. Too bold, too much like advertising, they said.
Just for 3 little letters.
Yep. And the mint reacted incredibly quickly, bowed to the pressure, removed the initials.
Wow. It shows how much people actually cared about their currency design back then. It wasn't just money.
Absolutely. That little detail became a national debate. It sets the stage, really, for how small features on these coins can become historically significant and valuable.
So the design evolved after that initial fuss.
Right. The reverse design changed over time. From 1909 to 1958, you had the iconic wheat ears. That's why we call them wheat pennies.
A very classic kind of agrarian look.
It evokes that era, yeah. Then, in 1959, for Lincoln's 150th birthday, they switched to the Lincoln Memorial.
Which stayed for a long time.
It did, until 2010 when the Union Shield design was introduced. Each change sort of reflects the time's national symbols.
But maybe the most shocking change came during the war, right? World War II.
Definitely. Suddenly, copper became this critical war material needed for, shell casings, wiring.
So no more copper pennies?
Not in 1943. They made a radical switch to zinc-coated steel.
Imagine getting that in your change. A gray penny, and it sticks to a magnet.
Must have been quite a surprise. A really tangible sign of wartime rationing hitting everyday life.
Did they switch back?
Yes, after the war they went back to copper. But then fast forward to 1982.
Inflation. Cost of copper going up.
Exactly. It started costing more than 1 cent to make a penny. So another change. This time to copper-plated zinc.
So most pennies since then look copper, but they're mostly zinc inside.
That's right. Just a thin coating of copper. A bit deceptive, perhaps.
It really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the sort of normal evolution. But let's get to the really shocking stuff. The value. You mentioned the errors.
Ah, yes. This is where it gets truly interesting for collectors. The real gold, so to speak, isn't always in the intended coins, but in the mistakes.
The ones that weren't supposed to happen.
Precisely. And the king of these errors, the legend, is the 1943 copper penny.
The one that sold for $1.7 million.
That's the one. Remember, 1943 was the year of the steel penny.
Right.
But somehow, a few leftover copper plancets, blank discs from 1942, got mixed in with the steel ones.
And they were struck at the 1943 date.
Exactly. An accident. A massive, valuable accident. Only about 40 are known to exist across all mints.
40, that's it. Wow.
Extremely rare, which explains the prices. $1.7 million for the Simpson coin in 2010, $1 million for a Denver minted one, even $282,000 for one from San Francisco.
And wasn't there one found by a collector, Don Lutz Jr., that sold for a lot, even though it was circulated?
Yes. That's a great story. He found it as a teenager, kept it. After he passed, it sold for over $200,000. Shows even a worn one is incredibly valuable.
So the first check for any 1943 penny.
Grab a magnet. If it doesn't stick, Well, take a very close look.
Okay, but the errors didn't stop there. What about the opposite mistake?
Right. The 1944 steel penny, talk about irony.
So they'd gone back to copper in 44.
But somehow a few leftover steel planchettes from 43 got struck with the 1944 date.
Another multi-$1,000 mistake.
Absolutely. Also incredibly rare, a Philadelphia one hit $180,000. Denver, $115,000. And get this, a San Francisco one, $408,000.
That's mind-blowing. Almost $500,000 for a steel penny from the wrong year.
It really underscores how these transitional errors, these wrong planchette coins, are prized.
Okay, so beyond the wrong metals, what other big-ticket wheat pennies are out there, the notorious rares?
Well, you have to go back to the beginning, that 1909 SVDB.
The one with the controversial initials from the San Francisco Mint.
Exactly. The initials were removed quickly, and the San Francisco Mint only struck 484,000 of them with the VDB. Very low mintage.
So high demand.
Extremely high. A top grade one, an MS-67 red, sold for $168,000 just a couple of years ago.
Wow. What else?
The 1914D struck in Denver. Again, really low mintage, just under 1.2 million. Scarce, especially in a good condition.
And the value reflects that.
Oh, yeah. One graded MS-66 plus red brought nearly $160,000 back in 2018.
Okay, another low mintage one. Any interesting error types besides wrong metal?
Definitely. The 1922 No D is a fascinating one.
No D, meaning no mint mark.
Right, but here's the twist. In 1922, only the Denver Mint made pennies. Philadelphia didn't make any that year.
So how could there be one with no mint mark? Shouldn't it have a D?
It should, but what happened was one of the Denver dies got so worn down or maybe over-polished that the D mint mark just disappeared.
So it is a Denver coin, but it looks like a Philadelphia one because the D is missing.
Exactly. A die error created the sort of phantom coin, very sought after. One sold for $92,000 back in 2008.
That's wild. A manufacturing glitch creating value. What about later years?
The 1931 SS, another San Francisco coin, made during the depths of the Great Depression. Mintage was low, just $866,000.
People weren't saving coins then, maybe.
Probably not hoarding new pennies, no.
Yeah.
So fewer were preserved in top condition. A really nice one, MS-67 red, recently fetched over $38,000.
And one more famous one, the double die.
Ah, the 1955 double die averse. This one is visually striking.
What does that mean, double die?
It means the die used to strike the coin had a double image on it. So the coin itself shows doubling, especially clear on the date 1955 and the word liberty.
Like the coin was struck twice, slightly offset.
It looks like that, yeah. It's a very dramatic and obvious error because it's so noticeable. It's super popular.
Yes.
Extremely. High-grade examples can easily top $100,000.
Okay, so it seems like the magic formula is low production numbers, unique mistakes in manufacturing.
Yeah, low mintage is huge. But then these specific errors, wrong metal, double dies, missing mint marks from die problems, off-center strikes sometimes too, those really drive the prices up.
And condition is everything.
Paramount. Absolutely critical. We talk about grading MS means mint state, like uncirculated. MS-65, MS-66, MS-67, the higher the number, the better the condition, the exponentially higher the value.
And that red designation for copper pennies.
Right. RD, it means the coin still has its original bright red copper luster, hasn't turned brown or dull. That commands a significant premium.
It's like finding a vintage car with the original paint job intact.
Good analogy, yeah. Okay, so we've talked about these spectacular, often shocking, high-value coins, but what about, for the average person listening? Any realistic chance of finding something amazing in pocket change or an old jar?
Yeah, is this purely a game for serious collectors with deep pockets, or is there still a treasure hunt aspect for everyone?
Well, finding a 1943 copper or a 1944 steel in circulation today, the odds are astronomical. Vanishingly small.
Okay, managing expectations.
But finding other valuable varieties, maybe less dramatic errors or key dates in slightly worn condition, that's definitely possible, and we have proof.
Like that story from Ohio.
Exactly. That anonymous guy who found a 1974 D aluminum penny, an experimental coin the mint made but mostly destroyed.
And he found it in change from a grocery store.
Yep. After it had apparently been circulating unnoticed for almost 50 years, that's genuinely shocking.
It really is. Like finding a winning lottery ticket someone lost decades ago.
And the U.S. Mint itself has confirmed that, yeah, sometimes error coins do slip out into circulation. So that old jar of pennies your grandpa kept, or inherited collections. Worth a look.
So the treasure hunt isn't entirely a myth. What are some DIY tips if someone wants to sift through their change?
Okay, first, get a decent magnifying glass. You need to see the details. Look closely at the dates, the mint marks, that little letter under the date, usually D for Denver or S for San Francisco. No mark means Philadelphia.
And for specific years.
If you find any 1943 penny, do the magnet test. That's crucial. For 1955 pennies, look really closely at Liberty and the date for that doubling effect.
Got it. And the golden rule.
The absolute #1 rule. Never ever clean a coin you think might be valuable.
Why not? Seems counterintuitive.
Because cleaning almost always damages the coin's surface, leaves microscopic scratches, removes the original patina or luster. It absolutely tanks the value. Collectors want original surfaces.
So resist the urge to polish it up.
Please resist. Handle potentially valuable coins only by the edges. Never touch the face. Store them in holders made of inert materials like mylar flips, definitely not PVC, which can damage coins over time.
And if you really think you have something special,
Then it's time for the pros. Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. They authenticate the coin, verify if it's a genuine error, and assign that crucial grade.
they're like the independent arbiters of the coin world, the coin whisperers.
Pretty much. Their certification is what gives a coin its market credibility and determines its real value.
Okay, so there's potential money, potential treasure. But why do people do this? It seems like a lot of effort. What's the psychology behind collecting these tiny bits of metal?
That's a great question. It's rarely just about the money, even for serious collectors. There's a lot more going on.
Like what?
Finding identity, creating order out of chaos, maybe. Connecting with history in a very tangible way. Holding something from 1909 or 1943. It's a link to the past.
Yeah, I can see that, holding history in your hand.
And the thrill of the hunt, the discovery, plus the social aspect, joining clubs, going to shows, sharing finds online. There's a community.
I read some quotes from that book, The Collectors. They talked about passion, curiosity, memories, emotions. Things beyond just the object itself.
Exactly. The coin becomes a focal point for all these other human needs and desires.
But there's always that debate, isn't there? Is it a hobby or an investment?
The classic numismatic question. And you'll get different answers depending on who you ask.
Some see it as this noble pursuit, right? History, art, the hobby of kings.
That's the traditional view, yeah. Appreciating the craftsmanship, the historical context.
But then you get the more cynical take, like that Walter Breen quote.
Numismatics.
Yeah.
A pursuit involving a veneer of scholarship hiding a core of greed.
Ouch. But maybe a little true for some.
Well, there's undeniably an investment angle for many people. Rare coins can be a hedge against inflation. They're tangible assets. Their value isn't just the metal. It's the rarity, the demand. They can appreciate significantly over time.
So potentially better returns than stocks sometimes.
Potentially, yes. But it comes with warnings. Lee Hewitt's famous line. There is no Santa Claus in numismatics, meaning it's not easy money. The market can be volatile. There's a steep learning curve to understand grading, rarity, authenticity, and fraud is a real risk. You need to do your homework.
So it takes time and effort. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Definitely not. And economists add another layer. Gary North argued value isn't intrinsic in the coin itself.
It's what people impute to it, what we decide it's worth.
Exactly. Value is a social construct. It's based on desire, trends, perceived scarcity. Maybe the utility is nostalgia or humor or national pride, not just monetary worth.
That makes sense. It explains why something like a penny can suddenly become trendy.
It does, and the market reflects this growing interest. It's booming, valued at nearly $19.5 billion globally in 2024.
Wow, it's huge.
And projected to grow to over $33 billion by 2035. That's a compound annual growth rate over 5%.
And who's collecting? Is it still just older guys?
Not anymore. That's one of the surprising shifts. There are an estimated 125 million collectors in the U.S. now. That's way up from maybe 20 million a decade ago. And a lot of that growth is coming from millennials and even Gen Z.
Younger generations are getting into pennies?
And other coins, yeah. It seems collecting tangible history has a new appeal. Maybe a reaction against our digital world.
Interesting. So the fascination endures, and it's actually growing. The thrill of the hunt, holding history.
And that slim, tantalizing possibility of finding unexpected fortune. It's a powerful mix.
But one final crucial warning. Fakes.
Absolutely critical. With valuable coins, there will always be counterfeits or coins that have been altered, like adding a mint mark to deceive buyers.
So that authentication step is non-negotiable.
100%.
Right.
Using those reputable grading services, PCGS or NGC, is the only way to be sure you're not getting fooled. Protect yourself.
Okay, so wrapping this up. That billion-dollar Lincoln Wheat penny, pure myth.
Total fiction.
But the real stories, The genuine values hidden in these everyday coins.
Yeah.
They're genuinely fascinating and sometimes, yeah, pretty shocking. $1.7 million for a penny is still hard to wrap your head around.
It really is. The history, the errors, the market. It's a rich field.
So maybe take a closer look at your spare change next time. You probably won't find $1 million error,
Probably not.
but you might find a little piece of history, maybe a minor variety, or just spark an interest.
And just think about it. Millions and millions of these pennies are still out there,
Yeah.
in jars and collections, maybe even still circulating. What other unexpected stories, what hidden values might still be waiting to be discovered?
It makes you want to grab a magnifying glass, doesn't it? Happy treasure hunting, you potential penny pioneers.